Good morning, everyone. How do you follow that? Off air, Benny, the Shy family, thank you so much for bringing us together for this important event today. For those who haven't had a chance to say hello to you, I'm Tom Attenborough. I head the international primary markets business at the London Stock Exchange, where we were delighted earlier this morning to host a small section delegation to help launch the event and to really reiterate our support for the London Stock Exchange for this initiative and for Israeli companies, bringing some light at the time of Hanifa in a sort of time of extreme darkness. We join the rest of the world, of course, in our shock and horror at the atrocities of the 7th of October and their ongoing impact on so many. And the stories individually keep on coming. They are truly humbling and remind us all, frankly, of those of us who live in London, of often the things that we all too often take for granted. And the resilience that's been shown in so many areas of life by those in Israel and Jewish communities worldwide against everything that's happening is, frankly, astonishing and humbling. And I don't think this has been any more clear than in the world of the Israeli technology sector, which continues to deliver despite the impact that businesses continue to have, both on their staff and often their leadership in these times. And I think the hashtag Israel Tech delivers no matter what is truly inspiring, and it's been genuinely humbling to hear many of those stories over the last couple of months and over the course of this morning. The London Stock Exchange is a platform, as Julia said this morning, for convening those that have capital with those that need it, in service of a purpose. And if ever there was a purpose which brings us here together today, I think this is a hugely important one. And this role of helping companies find paths to raise capital for growth and helping investors, of which I know there are many here today, think about paths to liquidity and exits, becomes ever more important against the backdrop that we see. We've got a vibrant business already in Israel. As a group, we have over 100 people on the ground in Israel, London Stock Exchange Group, after the acquisition of Refinitiv, the Thomson Reuters data business, which really expanded our presence globally. But even within the London Stock Exchange bit of our group, we have a long history of supporting Israeli companies. We have 23 companies already on market, with a market cap of $9 billion. And they include some fantastic success stories, plus 500, Play Holding, and some great companies that have come to the London market, raised capital, scaled their businesses, like the likes of Cape Technologies, for example, which was subsequently taken private, but started life on the AIM market, London's growth market, with $50 billion of revenue and a market cap of $50 billion, to an exit some years later of $1.6 billion, nearly a 7 times return for investors for participating. So what does London offer as an exchange to Israeli companies and their investors? Well, we're not the biggest market in the world, but we're absolutely the most international. Nearly 40% of all the companies on the London Stock Exchange are international. The capital that trades and owns shares in the London market is international. 60% plus of the investor base of the London market is non-UK investors. Nearly 40% of the whole London market owned by US investors. So there is a path to global investment without the need to go down the route of SEC filings, Sarbanes-Oxley, quarterly reporting, and the litigation risk that events over the pond can often presage. It's an ecosystem in London that supports small, medium-sized businesses against, which I know has been the root of many Israeli companies in the past, the US market, which is increasingly looking for businesses with a couple of $1 billion plus to IPO. So I think it's a real area where London can play a great role in continuing to grow and scale fantastic businesses. And despite some of the recent press narrative, US markets aren't always the secret to every success in the market. Of course, there have been some great ones, but for every Mobileye, up 70% since its IPO, there are plenty from Israel that haven't fared so well. And of the 25 companies from Israel going to the US in the last 5 years, only 7 are above issue price, over half are down more than 50%, and 3 are delisted altogether. So I hope over time, as many of you continue to scale your businesses, we can continue to build your understanding and present a compelling alternative. Now, clearly, we're in a difficult IPO market at the moment globally, and for all of you, I'm sure that's obvious. We've had 23 IPOs in London year to date, compared to 45 last year, 125 the year before. So that gives you an idea of the impact that the macro headwinds and geopolitical headwinds have caused. But we have had new listings this year from the UAE, Vietnam, South Africa, Canada, the US, China, Australia, France, Finland, which really just goes to underline the point I made earlier about international flow of companies to grow and scale on the market. And something else that may surprise you, we've actually had 4 in tech, quite small, but that's taken London to over 50 tech IPOs since 2021. And if you include the further capital to be raised by London companies, there's been over $22 billion raised in the London market this year, actually up 25% on that of last year. And to give you some regional context, London this year has seen more equity raised than the next 2 exchanges added together in Europe, and about 2.5 times that of Frankfurt in second place. So on a relative basis, London continues to be relevant and hold our own. I've talked about how tough the IPO market is, but I really think there are reasons to be optimistic going forward. Macroeconomic indicators are starting to trend better. I think we're increasingly believing that the rate cycle, raising cycle is at least peaking. Volatility is now down at low levels we haven't seen since pre-COVID. Fund flows into equities started re-emerging after a tough 18 months. So some really good signs of life in the market. And I think as we look forward to 2024, we really see a lot of excitement and pipeline building as markets continue to reopen more strongly. We also have a lot of exciting things in terms of regulatory reform that's ongoing. There's unprecedented FCA review at the moment, which will see the biggest rewriting of London's listing rules in 40 years. More of that anon. And we're doing some fantastic things in private markets as well. I think if you see yourself as a convener of those who have capital with those that need it, then actually why don't we limit our ambitions to just the listed market? How can we help earlier stage companies in finding their way to capital? So there's a lot to be done there, and I think we can help play a role in putting those missing bits of the jigsaw together. So look, in conclusion, from my standpoint, for all the investors here today and for all the companies here today, we're probably starting off, in many cases, that journey towards thinking about scaling, and maybe the public markets are a little way off for many of you. I'd say the following few things. One, don't give up on public markets as a source of liquidity and capital. To say the pipeline would be much better and much more constructive. London's a great place to live. It's a great ecosystem, global investor base, and numbers I've shared with you already shows fantastic position globally in raising capital, but buoyed by the regulatory reform will be even better going forward. And with the work we're doing in private markets, I think there'll be an increasing conversation about how we can support companies at earlier points in their life cycle. And finally, I think to those companies in the room, please keep doing what you do best. Continue to innovate, continue to show that resilience, that fighting spirit, and continue to inspire and to humble those of us that will hopefully play our own small role in helping finance you at the right time. And please see us as friends, please see us as a home to have that discussion and debate. And we hope very much to be seeing many of you again on a platform, just to finance your business, but to amplify those businesses on a global stage. Many thanks.